on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Presidential candidate Isko Moreno continues on his Western Visayas campaign in Guimaras. Romel Lopez with the story.
Team Action landed in the province of Guimaras to continue their Western Visayas campaign. According to the latest election data, Guimaras has over 124,000 voters.
Wala naman yata pumapansin sa kanila. O di ako naman, gusto ko maramdaman nila maliit, malaki, pupuntahan natin hanggat kayang puntahan. Gusto ko ngayon pa lang nakikita na nila na porsigido kaming abutin sila.
During his speech, Moreno promised to improve tourism, communication facilities and infrastructures in the province. He also vowed to develop other nearby provinces. Moreno also reacted to experts raising concern on a possible surge after the elections. He said he is not keen on implementing another lockdown because of its crippling effect on various industries.
Mukhang nagkaka-surge ulit sa mga ibang bansa. At alam natin, through lockdown, ang unang tinatamaan, tourism industry and transport industry. Yan ang laging tinatamahan, driver at mga nagtatrabaho sa tourism. So, kailangan talaga, Kat, to continue to survive.
While Moreno was busy wooing voters in Western Visayas, his supporters held a rally in Boy Scout Circle in Quezon City. Primo, or President Isko Moreno movement demanded that the Marcos family pay the 203 billion estate tax deficit owed to the government.
Lahat kayo, may karapatan. Kasi kayo ay mamamayan, kayo ay mga taxpayer. So, karapatan nila yon. I respect that. No? Basta tayo.
Meanwhile, Moreno will end his Western Visayas campaign with a visit to Bacolod. For News 5, Romel Lopez. We are One News.
Thank you. A sociology professor believes that candidates will have a harder time converting voters from younger age groups. A survey by Okta shows that a majority of those aged 18 to 24 are likely to vote for frontrunner Bongbong Marcos. Here's the report.
As the May polls draw near, where does the youth stand in the upcoming elections? According to Okta's Tugon ng Masa presidential survey from April 2 to 6, over 75% of those between ages 18 to 24 will likely vote for Ferdinand Marcos Jr. This is the highest haul for Marcos Jr. amongst all the other age groups. Mayor Isko Moreno and Vice President Leni Robredo are way behind. Marcos Jr. remains strong in the 25 to 34 age bracket at 62%. But are youth voters, compromising majority of first-time voters, firm with their choices? An expert says changing a young Filipino voter's mind will not be an easy feat.
We have young people, students who did not undergo any deep education in history. The textbooks are very uncritical when it comes to martial. Kasi may napapatakbo ng disinformation, hindi na siya kumakalat sa mga bata. It would be much easier to convert adult Filipinos than it is to convert young Filipinos.
In the recent Pulse Asia survey, though, both youth and senior brackets had the largest movements. From 71% in February, Marcos Jr. lost 14 percentage points in the 18 to 24 age group, while Robredo gained 16 points from 14% to 30%. The same movement for those above 65, with Marcos Jr. losing 14 percentage points and the vice president gaining 19. Cornelius said that campaign rallies may have had a hand in these movements. And with more big-ticket endorsements to come, a lot can still change. On the rampant disinformation online, meanwhile, he encourages the public to do intergenerational conversations, something another professor agrees with.
Let's practice deliberative voting. So let's begin with the premise that the candidates running for office are flawed, to deliberate with people who are not like you. And when we do this, our views become clearer.
But what of those who say, just respect my opinion?
I respect your opinion so much, that's why I want to understand you. Leaving you alone is actually a sign of disrespect. Leaving you alone with your opinion means I don't care.
Enjoying our individual right to vote need not be something we go through alone. After all, our choice will determine the nation's fate for the next 6 years. Gretchen Ho, We Are One News.
Presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos denies being elusive to the media. Marcos Jr. insists he has nothing to hide from the public and that he can be approached for interviews when his schedule allows. Local reporters and foreign correspondents alike following his campaign trail have made attempts to interview him on the sidelines. But in an ambush interview at one of his grand rallies in Mindanao, Marcos Jr. refused to comment on election concerns.
I'm sorry?
Sir, you were raising concerns about the smart matic data breach.
I can now. Parang mahirap ngayon. Sorry. We'll do it again.
We will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. President Duterte will skip the special summit with ASEAN leaders and the United States next month. In his weekly address, Duterte said the country will have already elected a new president by the time the summit takes place. The special summit will be in Washington from May 12 to 13. Note, though, that the next president will not be sworn in until June 30, which also marks the end of President Duterte's term.
Pangit na tignan kung magpunta ako doon na alam ko na may bagong presidente na. Ang mahirap kasi kung ako ang nagdoon, I might take a stand that would not be acceptable to the next administration.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The 3-day local absentee voting for government workers and media personnel kicked off today. Some 84,000 individuals are expected to cast their votes for national posts ahead of the May 9 elections. The World Health Organization's COVAX facility will be replacing over 3 million expired COVID-19 vaccine doses in the Philippines. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III says the replacement of the vaccines comes at no additional cost. And the MRT-3 management is extending their free ride program until the end of May. Passengers can ride the MRT3 for free from 4:40 a.m. until 10:10 p.m. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.